Slaptail Squad, assemble.
Welcome, members of the Slaptail Nation. It is I, your president, President Beaveman. President of the Great Slaptail Nation, ruler and general of the Great Slaptail Nation
Shut the fuck
Army.
up, Ronz.
No, not until you are inaugurated.
Thank you for joining us on this momentous occasion, as the election is clearly over. Many of you might be wondering.
Not until you're sworn in.
Many of you might be wondering, why are we doing this podcast? There's clearly a winner. Well, because there seemed to be some speculation out there and some confusion on the part of my opponent. And in order to be fair, I've reached out to his campaign advisors and suggested that we have this time to go over some things, like a cross-table discussion. Remotely, of course, because there's still a pandemic, and the Ronz and I are not complete morons in that regard. Well, I guess I can't speak for him.
Well,
more on that regard. And with us today, providing this referee capacity, if you will, and providing us with some questions that we can answer in order to clear up this little issue, is the Swan. Say hello, Swan.
Hello, Swan.
And of course, Senator Ron is here with us as well.
Hey.
And I guess what we'll do is we will have the Swan take it away.
Taking it away. Well, Ronz, I guess I'll just start out and say the election results are in, and it is clear that the Beaveman will remain the president. Ronz, I have some mixed emotions about this, your candidacy, your process, your opinions and views. I guess we can agree to disagree. I mean, you did agree with a lot of the Beaveman's strategies throughout his candidacy.
Is that the way you want to look at it? Okay. I
mean, we'll let you voice some opinions, share your thoughts. We'll let you start out first.
Okay.
Just give a little. Do you want to give a little congratulations to your opponent, the clear winner, or are you confused?
Well, why would I be confused? Because he's not clearly the winner yet.
Exactly.
The way until all the recounts are done, until all votes are counted in, then I will concede. Until then, he is not the president. Just because at this point,
exactly, he has all the votes in.
Not until they're all counted in, but he has all the votes that we know of. And on top of that, he does not become elected president again until he takes the sworn oath of office. So right now he's like a president.
But he is the president. So how would he need to be? He will remain the president.
Only until he's sworn in again.
American people, if I can just interject for a moment. This is a time for us to come together as one and to answer these questions. Let me say this, Swan, you're a little bit defensive towards the Ron. And what we really want is we want you to be the referee. Why are you so aggressive towards the Rons?
All right, I'll try to be a little more understanding of him.
You're not supposed to be partisan. You're supposed to be an objective commentator for this.
Neutral. I'll be neutral. I'll go back to neutral.
This cross-table discussion between the Ron and I, who is clearly confused. And we're trying to avoid...
That's classic. I like the way you did that, sir.
Trying to avoid confusion among the American people, starting, of course, with Senator Ronz.
Okay.
But she's passionate about what she thinks. She really does. And that's the American democracy. But to say to give in when votes have to be recounted or have to be looked at, that's a little too early. Now, the Electoral College.
Did you just say the Electrical College? Or at first I think you said the Electorate Whore College.
That's what it sounded like.
Whore College.
Yeah, the electoral college. Yeah,
You know
whatever.
what? It would have been nice. It would if there is an elected horror college. I wish my college would have been right next door to that one because that would have been pretty freaking awesome.
It would have been. However, until all those votes are really honestly counted in, we can't say who the president is. So, for that matter, public opinion differs, and I tend to want to go with what I want to know. So, what happened to my opponent there? He just kind of disappeared. I think he fainted at the sight of that. I will still, or probably will be president at one point. But it's a democratic process that played itself out, and and there are challenges, checks and balances that will be headed up, and I look forward to seeing if I am truly the winner. Let's face it, I think I am.
Okay. Beaveman?
Well, I would like to say that in past elections, never has an election gone on this long where there's a clear winner, and yet the opponent insists that they also win. Why is it now that there's such a difference? If you are not a complete fucking moron and you paid attention when we were asking our constituency to keep it safe and vote by mail, it was projected that it would take a while to count all the votes. It was projected that Ronz would jump up immediately because he did not talk to his constituency about doing mail-in votes. Instead, he put them at risk for some reason while they're all out hanging out at the beach without wearing masks, showing off their pastiness. They all decided that they were going to vote in person. And of course, so it would look like he would jump up right away, but he really didn't jump up right away. I believe you have some stats. I believe you have a question to ask in that regard, Swan.
I do. I'll direct it towards Senator Ronz.
Of course you will.
Senator Ronz.
Could you please keep your tone less snarky, Swan? I mean, this is not we're not trying to make, we're trying to bring the American people together.
Okay. Together as an American society, directing this question towards Senator Ronz. Senator Ronz, the only state awarded to you was Utah, which has 6 electoral votes. Why do you think you won? Is it because you're dyslexic and believe that there were only 6 for the Beaveman and 536 for you?
That question sounds a little kind of biased that you like the Beaveman more than me, because once you're attacking my dyslexia, my speech, and thinking that I got the numbers wrong. Now, let's face it, Utah voted for who they thought was right, although they voted wrong, right? If they voted
for you, dummy. So
well,
clearly.
Well, first of all, as a partisan person, you have to be,
yeah, big dummy.
Yeah, I was going to finish my statement. I was making a dramatic pause there. Apparently, that dramatic pause got a little elongated there.
You might want to try your intro into your plan for a dramatic pause a different way.
Would you like me to read those stats again?
No, I would.
With its 6 electoral votes, voted for you, Ron.
I realize that.
Them. You misspoke and said that they voted for the Beaveman.
And I was going to say...
he said they voted wrong, and he's clearly correct. They did vote wrong because they voted for him.
Now, I thought my opponent would let me speak.
And he's on my side again, and I appreciate that, Ron. Going forward as a great nation, the Slaptail Nation, I am going to need your support.
Yes, the Ronz is very giving. He was giving his 6 electoral votes.
You know what? Well, let's face it. I missed Tremonti because Tremonti kept both of us in check. He didn't take either side, whereas the Swan is automatically taking your side.
I have asked her to be impartial. I cannot control what she does.
Sure. Is she in a locked room right now with you?
The room's not locked.
Okay, so you can control the questions if she wants to get out.
Go ahead and finish your statement. We're sorry. I'm sorry.
No. By all means, it's the democratic process of freedom of speech. The way I see it is they voted their conscience, and they were right to vote for me. whether they voted, whoever voted for you, that was okay too. Although wrong, we can accept that. We can accept change in this country because we're going to make a better America going forward. Going forward. And if we don't make a better America, we can always blame the current president that's going to be sworn in on January 20th. Who would that be? That would be the
It would be
Beaveman.
the Beaveman.
I would agree. And let's face it,
Oh,
he's
you just
So you no longer
admitted
dispute it.
defeat. You no
No.
longer.
So you're
I'm
conceding.
not admitting
So this is
anything.
part of
I'm
your
not
concession.
conceding. I'm just saying that as
That was
soon
nice.
as
Okay, well, American people, I guess.
well, right now, are you not the current sitting president?
I am currently the sitting president.
So
of
if
Slaptail.
there's
That
any
is
problems
correct.
up until January 20th, they are yours to deal with. And America is divided at that point to whether go to Chick-fil-A or Chicken Coop or
KFC.
KFC. So under one nation, let's bring them together. And January 20th will decide that outcome.
I would like to respond to the question that she asked you, though. Were you confused when you looked at the numbers and saw that there was 6 on one side, and what would it be on the other side?
536.
536 on the other. Were you confused? Did you think that that was your number?
I think any number I say is my number. I own those numbers, all 325 of them. Right. So that's the way I look at it. All the numbers are mine.
325. Where did those come from?
Apparently, if you divide by 4, you'll find that out. But, if you do algebra, you can understand that.
Why? This is an important point here, American people. Have you not noticed how condescending the Ronz is?
I have not.
Man thinks that he won, and he's kind of said he's talking down to us like we don't understand algebra. Although, incidentally, I really don't understand algebra. But that doesn't matter. The point is, I'm going to surround myself with intelligent people that understand algebra and be the best president I can ever be. All right.
As far as the mailing,
let me just ask you this question, Ronz, because as the loser, I would like to know your opinion.
I am not a loser. I am the winner.
I said as the loser. I did not say you're a loser. I said as the loser. I can understand how that might confuse you because then you're like, yes, you are the loser. Why do you think that you won Utah? Is it because of your ties to polygamy?
Well, I think polygamy is a great idea because if you get bored with one wife, you can always go to the other wife. Unfortunately, they are working together sometimes, so it may not be in your best interest. So if you have at least 3 wives, you're good to go, right? Like America, I'm trying to bring marriage and people back together. So having multiple wives is okay. I like that. Not, I think a wife for every house or every room that you have is great, just as long as they don't conspire against you. There's nothing wrong with it as far as I can tell, right? I've had multiple wives, although at separate times, right? They been remarried like 3 or 4 times, I think. Right? I let my lawyers handle that. So it doesn't bother me. The way I also see it is if I'm bored with one, I can go to the other and sleep alone on a couch in that room. So I like couches too. Couches are
Couches
are okay.
Couches are good.
As far as the mail-in ballots and people standing in line, it is your constitutional right to go out and stand in line and vote. I did not discourage anybody from not voting and standing in line. If they want to do that, that's okay. But if you discourage them, are you a communist, sir? Do you have ties to the communist countries that discourage people from voting? It sounds like you might have, right?
You're the one who likes that tiny little Putin guy, not me. I don't give a fuck about him.
I like tiny little pewters figurines, right? Those are cool, right? You get enough of those, you get a nice chess set, right? And I think whoever does those pewter little tiny figurines are great. I mean, it takes a lot of craftsmanship to do those, right?
So was that another way that you got confused? You thought when you were going to be having relationships with Putin, you thought that they said pewter?
Oh, you mean Putin? Oh, Putin. I thought you were talking about pewters, like pewter butt plugs or something. So no. Your answer is, to answer your question, no.
Which part of my question?
All of it. All of it. All of it.
Well, I think that you have successfully confused the American people again with your rhetoric and ass backward talking.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
It's a nice job, I guess, in that respect.
Thank you. I plan to succeed where others have failed.
Yes, well, I think it would be good if the Swan would jump in at any point in time.
I think that I was just thinking, and maybe the Ronz thought that his vote should be the lowest, like a golf score. Like his 6 is the low score. Means he wins.
Sort of like at my country golf club at was it Marigold, right? So I go down there and I play a round of golf down there, and the low score counts. You mean it doesn't?
In golf.
But that's not how an election works. That's not how that works. See, the higher score wins. That means you actually have more votes than me.
I thought I did. And we'll see on election day whether you're in the office or I'm in the office.
We've already had election day.
Over.
Well, not the complete election until all votes are in. That's the way we got to look at it.
Well,
unless you know something I don't.
But if I have the majority, if I already have the majority of all the votes, we're talking, millions. Why would you think that you won?
Voter fraud.
Voter fraud. What's fraudulent? Where does your proof that there's voter fraud? That's what I'm confused about.
Well, if you look at how many times did you vote during this election?
I voted once.
All right.
How many times did you vote, Ron?
I voted
That's not
once.
Important. That's what he's gonna say. He's like,
no,
that's not important. We're talking about.
I was going to say that's really not important. That's who I voted for is my business. But
Did you vote for the Beaveman?
No, I voted for myself.
Oh.
Right.
But you just said you're not going to say who you voted for.
I did, but that's the way you interpreted it. Right? It's the way you interpreted. I tend to vote for who I think is right. I voted for myself. Right.
Now, did you vote in person or did you mail in your vote?
Yes, I did. So there you go.
So you did both.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I am saying.
Nor is he saying that he didn't, is what he's saying.
No, I'm saying I voted. Right? Did I stand in line to get a mail-in ballot? I might have. Right? So.
You stood in line to get a mail-in ballot. That sounds.
Who didn't?
Interesting.
I didn't. Why?
Why would I stand in line to get a mail-in ballot?
Oh, well, I don't know. That's up to you. I don't know why you're standing in line then.
Well, I mean, stand in line to vote, or you can get your mail-in ballot long before election day. You apply for it, you get the mail-in ballot, you fill it out and you mail it in, or you drop it off at your county clerk's office.
So.
Which is what I did. I dropped my vote off at the county clerk's office.
Congratulations for voting.
And I voted once. One time. I just voted once.
Thank you for voting for me. I appreciate that. I should have won on that district.
And that is also why you did not win, because nobody else voted for you except for the great state of Utah. And I think I know why.
Why is that? Please give me some insight.
Well, I think it's because of your stance on polygamy, your love for the Mormon people.
Maybe a few of his wives are still there.
Is that not accurate? Time and time again, it's clear that you're interested in polygamy and the Mormons.
Oh, Mormons.
Your love of Battlestar Galactica.
You mean Battlefield Earth?
I don't know. One of those things, whatever. Battlestar Galactica is basically based on the Mormon religion and written by a Mormon. So.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you love Battlestar Galactica? Isn't that your thing?
Well,
isn't that one of your things?
It is. That introduces us to some really cool characters like the Mandolin and the Yoda in those stories. So yeah, I kind of like Battlestar Galactica. That was how they introduced those characters. I think it was great.
The Mandolin.
Yeah, doesn't it have that?
Mandalorian.
Like the mandolin's an instrument, I believe.
Oh,
Ronz.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He goes around with Baby Yo-Yo in a backpack trying to deliver him to like a voter registration something, and no one can understand why he's doing that.
I think you might be I think you're confusing Battlestar Galactica with the Star Wars franchise.
No, I don't think I am.
I think you might.
I think you are.
Oh, you think I am?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, sure. I mean, I'm clearly.
And let's
Clearly,
face it,
you don't require any sort of medication
I
and
don't.
or hospitalization in a psychiatric facility.
In fact, let's face it, anybody that's been around me that I didn't agree with, they lost their job because they didn't understand my point of view. If you looked at it, right?
I guess it's better than them dying.
Well,
Swan, do you have any questions over there? Because you're pretty quiet.
I'm just letting you have some healthy banter between the two of you.
Well, you know, as a moderator, you're supposed to set a time limit and you're supposed to ask the questions. And
are you telling me how to do my job, Ronz?
Yes, I am, because
Okay.
Tremonde did the job and you're following in his footsteps.
Stop trying to play to the black community by supporting Tremonde.
You
didn't get their vote.
You would support Tremonde or the black?
You didn't get their vote either. But I believe the Swan has got some questions that she is going to direct to both of us and or one of us so that we can try to clear up this whole election debacle where the Ronz is still insisting and still tweeting that he won, though he clearly did not.
I am.
So I would like to ask the Beaveman, do you feel we should have an intelligence test to be able to vote?
Wow, that's a really tough question. There are so many things that I have issues with in general. For example, this kind of is along the same lines. Why is it that our young folks can join the military, carry a gun, go fight wars, kill people, possibly get killed themselves, take the responsibility of defending the Constitution as young as 17 in this country, because you can join at the age of 17 with a waiver from your parents. Yet, those 17-year-olds are not allowed to vote till they're 18, and they can't drink unless they're in a foreign country because they're not 21. Yet we ask them to defend our country. So, should there be an intelligence test to vote? It is not my right to say that once you are of a legal age that you are not allowed to vote. Voting is a right that is given to us through the Constitution and through the amendments of the Constitution, and I support those rights. What I do not support is the idea of the Electoral College, or as my opponent would call it, the Elected Whore College, or I think he also said the Electoral College, or the Electricity College, or the Electrical College. The Electrical College I do support also, but not the Electoral College. I do not believe that that is necessary. I believe the popular vote is what matters, because if you say that only the Electoral College vote matters, then that's like saying the people's vote doesn't matter.
Thank you, Beaveman.
It's President
Senator
Beaveman.
Ronz.
Actually, President Beaveman.
President Beaveman. I'm sorry. Excuse me, your time is up, Mr. Beaveman.
You may also refer to me as Master of the Universe.
Okay, Beaveman.
You can also.
Silence, Beaveman.
It is also
silence. I will mute your mic.
Well, I have
Senator
the microphone, and you will listen to every word I say.
I will be muting your mic.
And what
Beaveman.
It's not a debate. You know what, Swan? It's not a debate. It's a round table discussion between the three of us, and I just wanted to finish by saying there's not a timer.
Okay, your time is
There's
up.
no time limit. There's no time limit. This isn't a debate. This is a round table discussion. And now I can't remember what I was going to say.
Good.
Oh, this is what I was going to say.
Senator
This is what I was going to
Yes.
say. This is just an opinion question from Senator Ronz, back to the Utah thing. Ronz, have you ever seen that show Sister Wives?
I think I've seen one or two clips of it. Yes.
Okay. So, the premise is the guy's got, multiple wives, which polygamy is not legal, by the way. Has not been, and has not been allowed by the Mormon religion for decades, incidentally. But why, if you're going to have multiple wives, his wives aren't hot, so, it's not like he's hot either, but if you're going to have multiple wives, why would you have a bunch of uggos?
Well, with that said,
I'm all about the quality, not necessarily the quantity. I don't want to bang a bunch of ugly chicks.
but isn't it about the beauty being in the eye of the beholder? What you find beautiful? right? One person might find that person beautiful, and the other person might not find that person
Well, the other thing is a lot of his
ugly.
wives, there's a lot to behold.
Right? And let's face
I
it,
don't think I could behold in them because I would probably get a hernia.
let's face it, the reason women love me so much is because of my good looks. Now, they might take pity on you and marry you because, well, let's face it, you don't look that hot. But personally, with enough alcohol, anybody looks hot. Not that I'm a drinker, I don't drink, but it is I the beholder, right? And that's the way it goes.
So you're saying with enough alcohol, you would find me president attractive. That's what you just said? Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
I feel like that's what you just said.
I can say that, but I won't.
But
As far as your vote, as far as
I can say that. You just said I can say that.
I could say that. Anybody can say that. It's called freedom of speech. If you're going to be the president continually, you should know the Constitution. As far as the voting age, it's always been 18, but it got lowered to 18. It used to be 21.
Did you just say it's always been 18, and then you said
in my lifetime it's always been 18? Right? I left out that word. I should have said that, but it got lowered to 18. And then some states had it at 21.
I believe the original question had nothing to do with age. It's rather than we were talking about intelligence.
However,
intelligence test.
There should be, but
there should be. And why do you feel that way?
Well, because you have to know if you're going to vote for me or the other guy who's incompetent. So if you voted for me, I don't think you need an intelligence test. But if you voted for the other guy who might be really incompetent, has his finger on the button, right, believes that electrical horse should be next to his college dorm, or maybe not.
So how would you know? So let me get this straight then. If they didn't vote for you, then they need to have an intelligence test to vote, but they would have already voted for you to determine that. You see that might be an issue, right? Because the vote was already cast.
Well, according to you.
Well, according to you, because that's what you just said.
I didn't say that.
I'm pretty sure we could play it back.
No. You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. Not at all.
All right. Well,
but if you think I said that, that is your right to be wrong. Right. And I will support that.
I totally agree. I have every right to be wrong.
I mean, that kind of leads us into another question. Do people deserve to have their votes counted when it looks like things won't be positive for you? I'm going to direct this one towards Senator Ronz.
I believe so. I really do. For the simple reason it is our democratic process to have those votes counted. If we don't have them counted, and what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. But if we don't have them voted and counted for, then even though I have won already, I will need someone as an advisor. And as the outgoing president, he is privileged to having state secrets, dealing with national security. He might have some insight. So, yes, I should think every vote should be counted.
Should they count twice for you?
Yeah, I think for every vote that was counted should count twice for me, right? That would show me that I'm as much popular as everybody else, if not more popular. So you need
the votes counted twice for you to be popular.
Well, are you talking about how they should be counted as twice? I think so.
So if they're counted twice for you, shouldn't they be counted twice for me? Wouldn't that not make
any
difference?
No, just once for you. Right, one vote, one for you. One vote, two for me.
But based on the vote that we have right now, you still would lose.
No.
Even if the votes were counted twice.
You got 6, and the Beaveman.
And that would be 12 votes because that would be 12, and that would count for me because that'd be counted twice.
Okay, so with your 12, the Beaveman then got 536.
And that would only count half of what he would need.
So now he's only giving you half of your votes. Even if you divide it by half, you would still
we all know that math is not his strong suit. He's already said that. So, yeah, it would be whatever I would like.
I believe what I said was algebra is not my strong suit, but I think basic understanding of numbers is pretty much, I pretty much got an understanding there. And I do know that even with you having 12, and this is, of course, the projected electoral college votes, you would still lose. So even if you had double the electoral college votes, it still wouldn't be the same.
Well, no, if I had double the electrical college votes,
The electrical college votes.
yeah, it would be 428, and therefore that would put me far over the limit I would need to win.
But the Beaveman had 536.
That's just votes, not the electrical votes.
Well, okay, I will concede this then. You
thank you.
are
Thank you.
indeed the
I want
president
you
of
on
the
as an
electrical
advisor.
college. I think that you're right. You can be president of the electrical college based on your 12 votes. That seems fair.
Well, I think it's always fair.
I will appoint you as president of the electrical college. How about that?
The electrical college.
Okay, I like that. I can get a charge out of that.
And so
like
therefore that means that you understand that you did indeed lose the election.
No, that's
I will
after
appoint
January.
you as president of the electrical college.
That's after.
So if there's any college out there that is actually called the electrical college, I will discuss with them you becoming the president, and we'll see if we can make that a duly government appointed position.
I would like that.
But
I would like that.
Still understand that you lost the election.
No, I won. We won't know until the election, until you're sworn in. Until then,
It's gonna be a big surprise. You're like the inauguration is gonna be this big surprise. So both of you, we're gonna have both of the candidates stand by, and we're gonna do it like the Miss America pageant. You're gonna wear a nice little sash. We have a nice little sash, and we're just gonna stand by. Nothing else is gonna be planned. It's gonna be a big surprise. And on inauguration day, you're gonna have your family there. Everybody's gonna be there, and no one's gonna know what's in the
Until we
envelope.
place the crown. Yep.
And
Until we
nobody's
place
gonna
the
know.
crown.
Yes. Is that what you're saying? Is that how it's actually done, Senator Ron? Is that what you believe? Just
well,
curious.
you don't believe that? Why?
No. Well, because
Why
there's
don't
this
you
little
believe
thing-
that?
Because
I
there's this
believe
little thing
that.
that's called an election that we had, and you clearly lost.
You think I lost? I didn't say that. You did.
I don't think it's up to you to say. I think that basically, all the votes were cast by the citizens of this nation who are able to vote, and you clearly lost. So
You
I'm
think
just
that?
gonna-
I don't. I don't think
Why?
that.
It's obviously that you don't think that. Swan, do you have any questions?
I do. I do.
She came to this debate or this consensus so unprepared.
Says
So-
who, Ronz? But anyway, we'll start with you then. What do you want to say to the people who did not vote for you, Senator Ronz? Do you have anything that you'd like to address to the people?
Seems like he thinks that
a
they did
lot
vote.
of people. There seem to be a lot of people that did not vote for you.
I think
would
a
you
lot
like
of
to
people
say to
voted
them?
for me. I think a lot of people voted for me. They just don't know it.
Oh, that's interesting.
They just don't know it. So when that comes in, we will see how right I am. As far as though, let's say on the off chance that you're right, I would say to those who voted for my opponent, why? Did you want 4 more years of, I don't know, chaos, craziness?
I was waiting for him to say something racist, like, you really want 4 more years of tacos and chimichangas? Because
What
I
are-
do.
I like chimichangas. Those are great, right? And they're pronounced tacos, not tacos, tacos. And those were invented in America. My gosh, right? So let's not go there, because as a true American, I support myself. Right? But to those who did not vote for me, and there's only a few of them, I would say you're welcome for participating in a democratic process that allows you to speak your mind through a vote. Although you're wrong, thank you for exercising freedom of speech, getting out there and saying what you thought was right. Once again, even though you're wrong, right? Because I am right. But thank you. And hopefully that come next election, you vote again and voicing your opinion, either through a mail-in, smoke signal, or standing in line, hopefully without a mask this time, because hopefully this COVID thing will be over. Any other questions? I hope that answers your question, Swans.
I guess. Beaveman, same question. Would you like
So
to say
anyway-
anything to the people that did not vote for you?
Sure. The very few people that didn't vote for me, I would like to say that I understand that you had your right to express your opinion and vote for the Ronz. However many people actually reside in Utah, enough to give him his projected 6 electoral college votes. He was your champion, poorly selected, by the way. I will just say that as your president, no, I will not allow polygamy. You can watch as much Battlestar Galactica as you want. You can do all the fun things that you like to do in your Salt Lake. That's all cool too. But I'm going to bring us all together as I have done in the past as Americans. And we're going to march forward, and we're not going to let any good relations we have with other countries go by the wayside. I will mend all those relations and continue to build bridges. And someday I will be master of this entire universe, thanks to you, the American people.
So you're saying you're going to bring back jobs that you originally shipped out overseas. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm hearing, that you want to build bridges, yet you sent those bridge building people and contracted them outside the United States. Whatever happened to...
People?
Well,
what are bridge building people? Who do you think is building bridges? What racist thing are you going to say this time, Ronz?
You like to bring up race a lot.
Well, because it's very important in our country, and yet you continue to believe that there is no such thing as racism in this country.
I never said that. Not once at all. However, if you think it is...
You keep saying those bridge building people. What are bridge building people?
I would say those people that I would say foreign manufacturers.
And what makes you think that I outsourced anything from this country?
Really, if I pulled up a Beaveman tie and I flipped it over, where do you think it would say it was made?
The Beaveman doesn't wear ties.
Well,
you're exactly right. But he wears T-shirts, right? And we know that he's got a certain specialty T-shirt that his loving family gave him. I wonder if he ever checked the label to see where it was made, where that ink was made.
What is the definition of democracy in your eyes?
What
does democracy mean? Does democracy mean that no other country can have its own industry? Are you giving me my
opinion of what democracy means?
Is that what you're trying to say? Are you trying to? I just want to know if you're trying to say. No, you're telling me
what democracy means.
No, you're talking about.
And you're telling me that's a fascist
You're talking about
way of
fascism.
it.
You're talking about
you're
fascism.
talking about fascism.
You're saying
what does
that it's
democracy
okay.
mean to you? And
you're saying that nothing should be manufactured other than in the United States, as if the United States is the only country on this planet.
No, but you're giving me what a democracy should be, so that makes you more of a fascist of telling me what I should think. A democracy is
what I asked you was, what is your thoughts on it? What is your definition of it? Because what you're saying is the definition is fascism. You're saying that it's not okay to have anything. It's not okay to have anything unless it's manufactured in the United States. And I will tell you this, logically, I'm okay with stuff being manufactured in the United States. I'm also okay with stuff being manufactured in other countries. Am I saying that the United States, its industry, should outsource to other countries? No, I do not believe that that is the case. However, there's nothing wrong with getting stuff that is manufactured in another country. That's what I'm saying. The United States is not the only country that manufactures. And really, we're letting that stuff slip by the wayside. I'm not the one who outsourced. I'm not the American companies that outsource its products to other countries to make them there cheaper. In my opinion, that should never have happened. If you want to have a strong country, why are you allowing everybody, you're not giving them tax breaks here to stay here, or the tax breaks you give them are so insane that you're just making billionaires, but those people are not letting that money flow downhill to their employees. They're just keeping it. How can you make $1 billion? How can you be the richest person in the world and your employees are dirt poor? How does that work? If you're a multi-billionaire, you're never going to spend that money. Why isn't it flowing down to your employees?
I agree with that. All right, so when you wear your T-shirt, I want you to look at what you just said, and then read where it was made. Because I support
but
America.
again, what I said was that's the definition of democracy. Democracy doesn't mean that we dominate everything and no other countries can have their own industry. What I'm saying is that if you're going to have a company that is an American company, why are you outsourcing to other countries to build shit when it should be built here for the good of the American people so that they can make money? There's nothing wrong with having a product that's made somewhere else. What if my T-shirt is made in China? Who gives a shit? That just means that
took
that's
away
a
an
T-shirt that I
American
have to have
job.
bought that wasn't made in the United States.
You just took an American job away.
I didn't take an American job away. The
Yeah.
industry owner took American jobs
And
away.
you support
They're the
that
ones who
industry
decided they
owner.
were going to outsource to fatten their own fucking pockets when they could have kept the jobs here.
And if you didn't buy that T-shirt, you wouldn't have supported that industry owner. Swan, what's our next question?
All right. Yeah, we should probably move on. Well, my next question is, will you both accept the outcome of this election?
Of course, I have to. While though he supports Wakanda and third world or other countries, I will accept the outcome for what it is. The American people not voting for me and voting wrong.
So you concede already because you've already
I
lost.
said the outcome. The outcome is
The outcome
not
is that
your
you have already lost.
No, not until every vote is in. Not
The
until every
majority
vote
is
is in.
already in, and you have already lost.
No, not until every vote
There's
is
no
in.
way from the amount of voters that are registered, there's no way that even if every single vote from now on came in for you, you would still lose.
Even if they counted as 2 runs.
You still lose.
Whoa. The Swan, you need to be impartial.
I
You
was trying
cannot-
to give you 2 extra votes.
Well, then that means you're not being impartial. Your vote is for me, and I appreciate your vote. That means
My
I
vote
win.
is not for you. My vote is
Yes.
regardless of my vote. I'm just saying, if every vote was counted as 2,
I'd
There's
just like to
remaining-
interject and say that the word irregardless is redundant because the word is
Redundant?
regardless.
Is
So
that
you don't
dumb
need to
version
put a
of it?
word, you don't need to put an in front of it because regardless is the definition of irregardless. So you don't need to put an IR in front of it. It's just regardless. Thank you.
very well.
You sure about that?
I am. Look it up.
All right.
Anyway,
What's
I
our
guess-
next question?
I guess it's again directed towards the Ronz, since you have so many votes against you. Why do you think so many people voted against you? And
They
why
did.
were
They
they
voted
wrong?
for me. They voted for
That
me.
is not what our voting tally is showing currently at this moment.
That's your voting tally, not mine. Mine is completely different. Mine is right.
Where are you getting this data from?
Online.
Well, again, though, I think that everything online is showing that you totally lost already. Which is why we're a bit confused as to why you insist that you did not lose. Is this your own
What are your advisors telling you?
Is it your own website that you are seeing this? Is it data that you yourself have constructed to show that you won?
I could have.
Because,
By the way, did you know I'm a black belt?
We did.
Oh,
And
but
that's how,
it didn't
as a
seem
black
to-
belt, that makes me a winner.
It didn't seem to help your election much.
All black belts matter. That's what matters.
I'm not sure that they do, because I read this story about this guy who was driving down the road, and he was like naked, and was apparently checking people out, and like pleasuring himself. And
Well-
my understanding is that he was a black belt also. So I'm not sure all black belts matter.
We won't go there.
I believe you know that, don't you? You know that. I
We
think he
won't go
voted.
there. I understand
I
what
believe he
exactly you're
voted for it.
saying.
Did he? Are you
But-
denying that occurred?
I am not denying anything of that until I know more about it. But yes, oh geez, oh you are.
What do you
that's
need
just
to
the
know more
lowest.
about? What is it that you need to know more about?
Nothing more than that.
You said
He
all black
also
belts.
supports butt plugs for
Said
2020.
all black belts matter is what you said.
I
said
did,
they do
and,
not. I do
keeping
not
that
believe that
our
all
electrical-
black belts matter.
and keeping that our electrical. Oh, geez, I can't speak. It's just I'm overwhelmed that the people voted for me. Right,
Like
The
all 5 of
people
them?
in
all
his
5 of
head.
them. And why wouldn't you support polygamy? By the way,
Why wouldn't I support polygamy?
yes, why wouldn't you?
I didn't say I didn't support polygamy.
I said,
What
why
I
wouldn't
said
you?
was it's not legal and it hasn't been for decades, and it has not been considered part of the Mormon religion for decades. So I'm not sure even why sister wives is in existence, because it is not supported by the Mormon religion. Though they profess that they're Mormons, do they not?
You
Swan?
I
know,
don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
you love
I
that
mean,
show.
I did watch that show, but I don't pay attention to the religious whatever. So, but I do think they are like some type of Mormon. I don't know. I don't remember.
it is illegal in all 50 states. However, it's kind of like, I would say, turn a blind eye in Utah. Right. And once again, who wouldn't want multiple wives?
I just said I don't have a problem with that aspect itself. I was just wondering, why shouldn't you go for quality as opposed to quantity?
Why not have quality all the way around? Are you saying that you can't have quality in many wives?
Well, that's what I said. I just said that I would go for quality and not quantity. Not that that guy is like attractive. I mean, I'm sure that it's just as good as any of those women could get. I'm just saying that what's the point of having multiple wives if they're all uggos?
Well, what if they're not all uggos? What if
That's what
they're
I just
all
said. I'm like, that's fine because I would be cool with that.
So you're cool with polygamy?
I
That's
think
awesome.
I said that. But you also said that. So again, we don't have to disagree. That's the thing, people. If you're a Democrat, that doesn't mean that you agree with everything the Democrats stand for. If you're a Republican, that does not mean that you agree with everything the Republicans stand for. If you have a friend who's a Republican and you're a Democrat, that does not mean that you have to argue about every issue. There's lots of things you're going to agree on. That's why the whole bipartisan stuff is bullshit. That's why when I ran as an independent. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm more libertarian than anything, but I'm clearly not fully a libertarian, because if you're a libertarian, here's what I don't understand. Maybe you can answer this for me, Ronz, because I'm going to give you some credit because I think you're an intelligent person, despite the fact that you don't understand you lost the election. Let me ask you this question, Ronz.
By all means.
This is a serious question.
All right. I'll
Put your
take a
thinking
sit,
hat
sir.
on and listen to what I'm about to say, and let me know what you think. You understand kind of the basic premise behind what a libertarian is, correct?
I think I do. Yeah.
Okay. If you're a libertarian and you consider yourself to be 100% libertarian, why would you be a politician? Doesn't that stand in the... Isn't that contrary to being a libertarian?
No. And I'll tell you why.
Please do, because I'm asking you an honest question.
And with a serious answer, the answer would be because you need a minimalist government to run things. And as a libertarian, you would use the minimalist attitude and the minimalist structure and minimalist taxes to get things done. So you would eventually try to eliminate bloatware or the bloating of the government system, right? So you would still need an elected official, and that could be you, but you wouldn't have all the, for the lack of a better word, trappings of a full-blown cabinet. If you didn't need a cabinet education, let's say Betsy DeVos, of course, is in the Michigan area, and she's doing a bad job. Well, if you can do that job, you understand what her job is, you could just eliminate it. Now, that's using a minimalist attitude. If you did not understand what the job is, or you have some idea of that, but you want a better insight, you would surround yourself with people that are smarter than you or that understand that job. But you wouldn't overexert more people. Like, how many people do we need in a cabinet? How many people do we need to run this? So you would try and limit the people that are surrounding you. Also, you would start to eliminate income tax waste or tax waste. So do I really need And I think you were in and I were in the military when they had this thing where someone found out that, and I'm going to over exaggerate here, that someone was paying $8,000 for a toilet seat. And they said, well, wait, why are we going down to this home improvement store getting a toilet seat for $40 and you're charging us $8,000 for it? So by looking at the books and eliminating wasteful spending, we could cut back. So a person in charge could use a minimalist attitude, a minimalist budget, and still get things done. So as a libertarian, you would approach it like that.
So does that mean that as a libertarian politician that you would not yourself even take a salary?
I would probably take.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
how
I do.
Being a libertarian, in my opinion, if you were a real libertarian, how running for office seems to contradict the idea of being a libertarian.
Well, you would still want to get paid for your time unless you have a side income, right? So if you started out rich and you're a libertarian, would you need that income of that office? No, probably not. So you could donate it. But if you are just have the bare minimum to get elected and stay afloat, yeah, take the salary, right? And if you don't,
Second part of that question, then here's my second part of that question.
Okay.
For people who identify themselves as libertarian, and I happen to know of someone who insists that he's a libertarian, and I would argue that he is not a libertarian whatsoever.
Okay.
If you're a true libertarian, why would you vote for someone who's clearly interested in being a dictator?
Well, once again, do you really? Some people don't want to think. They don't.
Ah, see?
No, I agree with what you're saying.
Go ahead. Continue your thought, because you know what? Like I said, American people, you don't have to disagree on everything, despite this person being on the other line with you, being opposing you as an opponent. You don't have to disagree with everything they say. That's ridiculous. You can't disagree with everything that somebody else says. It's pretty much impossible. Even if apparently this is a new thing now, even I, as a brown man, cannot possibly sit down face to face with a white supremacist and disagree with everything they say. I'd say that's damn near impossible. Their opinion on every single thing on the planet cannot possibly be the opposite of mine. It's just statistically impossible. But go ahead, Ronz. Continue your thought if I didn't interrupt you to the point where you don't remember what you were going to say.
I was going to say some people don't want to think. They don't. I mean, some people want to be part of the process. That's why we vote. But overall, you want someone in charge. So you don't have to make those decisions. Do we want to go to war? No. But if we're invaded or something happens, do we have a strong leadership to stand up and make that decision for us? Now, opinions vary. They really do, as you mentioned. And hopefully that person in charge doesn't get stupid, right? But without knowing that, since he's our elected voice, we want that voice to resonate with our sentiments. I think that's where I'm going with this. And you're right. We agree to disagree because there's always going to be someone at some level that doesn't always agree with something. Now, this presidential election, everybody was pissed off. Everybody, both sides. However, the powers that be, they didn't care. They wanted to hang on to their power. Even though they saw the stupidity, they just wanted to hang on to their power.
What you're saying is, despite the fact that you lost, you're still trying to hang on to this idea that you won.
Oh, so I've always won. I've always won. We know this.
Please continue then. Please continue.
I have a question regarding that, a little bit similar to that.
Okay.
A spin-off of it. So when all the votes are counted for the Ronz's sake, for the Ronz's sake, and the results are still the same, are you going to concede nicely and be accepting of the Beaveman, who clearly has already won? And with that being said, listen, shush. And with that being said, would you join the Beaveman's campaign? And to the Beaveman, would you accept the Ronz if he does want to join?
Well, it would go against my party lines to join his campaign.
But you agree with a lot of the things that he's
He
said.
says I agree with it. There's a big difference because if you listen to the podcast, he says I agree. He twists my words into making it sound I agree with him, but I don't necessarily agree with him. Once
I feel
again,
like if we play back, you have said multiple times that you agree with
that's what
and
you
have
want
the
to hear.
same opinion.
That's what you want to hear. I can't deny what you want to hear. I'm right, you're wrong. However, I would stand by him because it is a political process that he won. The American people have spoken, but until those votes are counted,
Wait a minute, you just said the American people have spoken. So you're right, they have spoken, and
not
they've
until
chosen
the
me
final
clearly.
votes are counted. You know what? It's like watching.
Let me
a
ask you this
marathon.
question then, Senator Ron.
Once again, you're changing the
No,
subject.
I just want to ask you.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question.
Yeah, go
as
ahead.
the president-elect for my next term, and possibly forever, who knows? Possibly for life. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. They might amend the Constitution.
They won't. But okay.
As the president, you could probably move to take away those term limits.
No,
I
you
wouldn't.
can't.
That would not take away the rights of the American people.
You cannot take the right. You can't take this away. And if you did, then it's a dictatorship.
Let me ask
Well-
you this question though, Ronz. You keep talking about manufacturing in other countries, et cetera, and your opinions are stark to mine in some respects, but you agree with me on most things. So would you then accept a position in my cabinet as I am the elected president? Or would you insist that you need to stay a senator and then someday run again for presidency?
Well, I can still retain my position as senator within your cabinet. So to answer your question, I would take a position within your that, and I would still be a senator. I'd be more of an advisor. A lot of look at John McCain before he passed away. He was still, believe it or not, an advisor to the president. He was still running for president, and when he lost the presidency, he went back to being a senator. So in that aspect, yes, I would be just like him.
All right, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
My position. Go ahead.
You keep talking about foreign manufacturing and how it's wrong, and you feel like other countries are not allowed to manufacture their own product for profit, which makes no sense because
I didn't say other countries.
How else would they have an income? I recently got a product from China. From China.
You mean China? That's how it's pronounced. It China.
China.
No,
Sure.
China.
And let me tell you, this is a
Ron
quality
said,
product.
vagina.
Quality product. It was sent very nicely. Let me tell you this. How many American companies will send you a product that you've ordered, and not only will they send you a product, but send you a thank you note?
So did this company that manufactures these fleshlights do that for you?
Fleshlight would be nice. And if there's a Fleshlight company out there that would like to send one of those to the Ron tonight, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. You can send one to Tremonde also, because despite the fact that he is a gay man, he swings both ways and probably would enjoy a Fleshlight. Thank you. But let me put it to you this way.
Do they come in different colors?
American companies.
I don't know if they do or
Maybe.
not.
You know, there's that personal touch that is so important that we've lost here in America. There are small companies that still have it. But let me tell you, I'd like to read this thank you note that I got from this Chinese company.
I didn't know you could speak Chinese.
They write in English, Ronz.
That's the interesting part, because I think that despite their best efforts, they might be having the translation done by either a computer or they're having it done by somebody who was raised in China and learned English in China but might not fully understand the language. So I would like to read for you this thank you note that I got. Dear. Of course, they didn't put my name on it. It's just generic. You know, here in this country, you might say, to whom it may concern, or dear customer. Anyway, here I go on. Thank you for buy the new product. As our VIP customer, you have the exclusive special offers. Number one, that's the best part. Free hat to give away. In order to show our appreciation for your order in our store, we would like to send you a free hat. No review required. Hat is fantastic. Make it your best friend. Isn't that cute? This hat, they believe, will now be my best friend.
What product did you order to elicit said compliment?
I ordered a water-resistant hunting jacket and pants.
So you couldn't buy America, you had to go buy Chinese.
Let me tell you the difference in price, my friend.
So once again, you're not supporting an American company, you're supporting a Chinese company.
That is correct. I did support a Chinese company, and that is part of being a good American. It is. Is it not? Am I not supporting another company, another country? They buy stuff from us as well. And actually, technically, this is an American company that's distributing a product that is from China.
So you would rather support a communist country than a democratic country?
No, I would rather support the United States and, of course, the Earth. That is what I would like to support. But I also got to support my pocketbook, Ronz. I can't spend $300 on a hunting coat that I only wear a few days out of the year, but I could spend $123 on a hunting coat and a hunting pair of pants that I only wear.
So one of the world's largest supplier of pollution, and you say you want to go green, you want to support the environment, you supported them, right? And then you want to support American jobs, manufacturing jobs, and you supported them. How does, your people are just going to get upset when they realize that they voted possibly for the wrong candidate.
You just said, so you're saying that they voted for the wrong candidate, but yet you say that they voted for you and not for me. So now, again, you're contradicting yourself. So clearly they did, in your mind, vote for you, but you just said they voted for the wrong candidate.
Well,
so again, you're saying that you're the wrong candidate.
I am not saying I'm the wrong candidate.
Is that not? I'm confused. Is that not what he just said?
No.
I feel like words and statistics can be twisted to make whatever you want them to be.
I think statistics are numbers that are just made up on the spot.
I don't necessarily think that is true, Ronz.
Statistically, I am speaking the truth, but we won't go there.
The word is statistically.
Like electric.
Do you have any other questions, Swan?
I do. This one's to the loser.
Okay, Beaveman,
maybe
it's on you.
Whoever, this is subjective. What souvenirs do you plan on taking with you from the White House? Let's start with Ronz.
Well, I'm gonna wait for my answer. I'm gonna let my opponent who lost the election to answer that first.
Okay.
See, he's already admitted that he's lost.
If I had indeed lost, and when my term of presidency is over, my end of my time in the office, and another 4 years is over, I think that what I'm going to take is I'm definitely going to take the stuff from the billiard room because I had that. You can decorate the Oval Office any way you see fit. You can't take stuff that was already there that's of historical value. But there was a really nice pool table that I had put in. That's definitely coming with me. There's also some that large screen TV that I had put in specifically to access YouPorn and other porn sites. I'm definitely taking that with me as well. Lifetime membership to YouPorn is also going with me, and Brazzers, that's going with me as well. That I can access anywhere from any mobile device, which is nice. Let's see, what else am I going to take with me? Of course, all of the night vision goggles and the various weaponry that I have assembled, that's going with me. That cool autograph poster of Bruce Lee, that's coming with me too. As well as my life-size photo, cardboard cutout, if you will, stand-in of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Yeah, that's coming with me as well. I'm not really sure where all that's going to go because I live in a very small house, but that is what I'm taking with me.
Okay. Ronz?
I would be taking, I would like to take the Oval Office desk with me because it's so roomy and comfy, and you can hide under it, right? I would like also to take the jar of candy that usually sits on top of it because I like candy.
That's been there since the Reagan administration. It's filled with jelly beans, and they've the same jelly beans that's been there since the Reagan administration. I'm not sure you want to eat those, Ronz. Not quite sure why they don't ever empty that out and put different jelly beans in there.
They probably, well, they do, but it's more of a historical value. You're right. And if I had to leave that there, then that's the one thing that's going to stay there. I'd also like to take the red phone, right? And because it kind of reminds me of that was a direct line to Batman, so I would like to take
I
that.
think that's not what that red phone is for. You're not supposed to just. You're not really calling Batman when you lift up the receiver. That you're not supposed to dial on that, but it's not. It doesn't go directly to Batman.
That's what you think, but we all know it did.
The Batman's not real. He's not real.
Yes, he is.
It's a comic. He's a comic.
No, he's real. He's
No,
real.
he's
You
not
just
real.
don't realize it, right? Every time I picked up,
all
there was someone on the
the
other end.
national security things that I know as president, never once has anyone revealed to me that Batman is real.
And yet you had Bruce Wayne in your cabinet. Ironic. Hello. Yeah, he was there. So knowing
You're saying you think Bruce Wayne is Batman.
you never
you're
made
saying.
the correlation,
Why on earth would Bruce Wayne be Batman? That doesn't make any sense.
it does make perfect sense.
Next, you're going to tell me that Clark Kent is Superman.
He is?
Remove his glasses, he looks just like Superman. That's completely ridiculous.
Oh, that's weird because I never thought that, right?
Oh.
Right, but he's from Kansas, and of course that's a different story. However, what else would I would take is all the flashlights that were hidden around the office that were left by Spicer, because I don't think anybody needs to see those. I would probably take.
Why is one of the fleshlights named Monica? I've never understood that either.
I would agree with
Why
that.
why do they have personalized names on them?
I really don't know, but
And why is that really big one that's got all the gray hair and warts on it? Why is that one named Hillary?
No,
It's always dry.
That's the butt plug, and I would take those with me too. Oh, what else would I take? I would also take my Ninja Turtles and Nunchakus. Right, I like those. I would take my autograph poster of I don't know. You said Bruce Lee. I'll go with Chuck Norris because he's a real American hero.
I'll tell you a story about Chuck Norris.
Go ahead.
Bruce Lee kicked his ass.
Oh yeah, everybody knows that.
I like that.
Yeah, everybody knows that. I would also probably take my Rolodex with all my numbers because I love numbers, even though I probably
I think it's odd that you still
Even
use a
though
Rolodex.
you are dyslexic,
Yeah, you know what? And they probably won't return my phone calls anyway.
because you dialed wrong.
Didn't dial wrong. They just won't return my phone calls.
Oh.
What else?
I think it's called a ZLR.
Or ZR. I would also take my my subscription to Buckingham Palace because I have a subscription there to royalty magazines.
Oh, isn't that the one that's got like the centerfold of the Queen? That's fucking sick, you nasty, nasty motherfucker.
It's got the centerfold of Freddie Mercury and his band, the Queen. I don't know what you were talking about, but okay. So I would take my lifetime pass to all rock concerts, right? Because as president, you get those.
Right? A lot of shit. Why are you taking so much shit?
Because I can. Right?
I mean, you really only come into the White. I mean, you've never resided there. Why are you taking so much shit from the White House? Why do you have a bunch of shit from the White House? You've never even been the president. Why do you have so much shit from there?
I am the president.
Where are you keeping that shit?
Yeah. You would like to know, so you would take it. Yeah, I'm not telling you.
What other questions you got there, Swan?
I think that's about it for my questions. If you guys have anything else you'd like to discuss with each other or have a peaceful concession.
Well, all joking aside,
He just needs to concede because he lost, and as the president, I don't have to concede anything. I'll just thank him for being an opponent, and thank the American people for choosing me. And for those who didn't, just remember that I'm still your president. I'm going to fight for all of you. This is America. Period. Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. I was wondering when that was coming. I would say, all joking aside, those who participated in the democratic process of this election, thank you. You actually made me happy because the American people have finally spoken up, right? I don't care who you voted for. Personally, you're still my friend. You're still my my compatriot. it was an honor to watch this election go down. Even though I might not agreed with your decision, I know some people that did vote for Trump. Hey, that was their decision, even though he wasn't going to win, right? But on the off chance that he did, you voted your conscience. And it was an amazing election to see. It really was. In my lifetime, this is probably, when it first started out, I thought it was one of the closest elections I had seen in a lifetime. There were no one said that either side won until all the votes were possibly in. All the electoral votes were in. No one did that. And I got to hand it to the news outlets. They did a stellar job on being really, partial about that, right? They weren't going to call a winner until they knew for sure, because if they called winners, it showed that they didn't get their news sources right. So, but back to the joking side of things, when the Beaveman bows down before me, I will not have him bow down. I will just say thank you for your vote. And you can continue with your polygamy with the Swan if you're going to be staying with her for a while. So that would be great.
All right, well, I would just like to say, on a serious note, yes, people, we do understand that technically the election is not over. The election is not usually over, quote, over on election night unless it's a major landslide. And then the opponents, the one that notices that, hey, there's no way I'm going to fucking win, I will now concede and make my concession speech. That's typically what happens. Okay? But what we know also is that the election, quote, election, is where they show the map. That's projections of what the Electoral College votes are. The Electoral College doesn't even vote until, what, December? That's when they put their votes in. That's when the votes actually go in. That's when this whole sham of a institution, in my opinion, that should be eliminated because it does not represent. It's supposed to be popular vote. That's what we really want. That's what the people need to say is, hey, let's get rid of this stupid thing. It was designed in the first place from an elitist idea. However, it doesn't happen until that. So what you see is projections. There really are no Electoral College votes awarded, technically, until they go and vote. But of course, the projections are that the majority of the vote, it goes to this side of the whatever, whether it's Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, probably never going to happen, or other independent party. And when those votes are cast, it's going to follow the projection because those states were already won. They're not going to vote separately or differently. That's what's important to remember. But what's also important to remember is this is the only person who's ever really said, oh, hey, I didn't lose, when you clearly did lose. You clearly fucking lost. So what I'm sick of seeing is all these posts about how he didn't fucking lose. He fucking lost. Every living ex-president has congratulated Biden on his win. Mull that over in your mind. That means Republican and Democrats who are living ex-presidents currently have congratulated Biden on his win. That means George W., Obama, Clinton. George W. was not a Democrat, and he's congratulated Biden on his win. What does that mean? So, and all these other motherfuckers who are saying that the election is not over, okay, so if you ran as a senator in a state and you're a Republican and you, quote, won, doesn't that mean that you're also not the winner? Because you're saying that the president won, but he didn't win by votes, but yet you won by the votes that are cast. So how is your win legitimate?
Fair, yeah.
So you just contradict yourself. That doesn't make any sense. But what they're doing doesn't make any sense.
I agree.
And to all of our listeners out there who insist on doing the following, saying that this is a sham and it's not true, whatever. Listen to our podcast. Don't listen to our podcast. I don't give a fuck. And for all of those out there who are posting the rebel symbol from Star Wars now, as if you're all rebels now, and you're going to straight start some great fucking revolution, let me put it to you this way. The majority of you that are putting that on your shit that I have seen, you motherfuckers get winded tying your fucking shoes. How on earth do you think you're going to be some sort of a rebel alliance? Let me also put it to you this way. Let me also state this. If I was in the Star Wars universe, do you think I'd really be a rebel? Let me tell you why.
You might be a rebel without a cause.
I might be a rebel, but I don't think I'd join the Rebel Alliance. Let me tell you why. Their helmets are stupid.
That's what I was going to say.
Their outfits are stupid. I like the Jedi, but let me tell you something. If I had a choice between being a Jedi and being a Sith, I'd be a Sith. And I've said this once. I've said it again. And you know why? You know why, Ronz? You know why I'd be a Sith?
Why is that? Why is that?
Because as a Sith, you can fuck. You can fight with emotion. You wear black. You got some sweet-ass scars. And you don't take shit from anybody. The Jedi, nobody's touching that dick. If you're a Jedi, you ain't getting your dick touched. Sorry, that doesn't sound like fun to me. So all you Rebel Alliance motherfuckers out there, yeah, you think it's cool? But like I said, you guys would be dead so fucking fast. You can't tie your fucking shoes without getting winded. And I'm sorry, if I'm going to pick somebody to fight by my side, all fun and games aside, if I'm going to pick somebody to fight by my side, it's probably going to be Ron.
Oh, thank you.
You know why? Because Ron can defend himself without a weapon. Ron can defend himself with a weapon.
I'd like to think I can.
That's a handheld weapon. I'm not talking about guns. I'm talking about like pick up something from a counter and be able to defend himself. Whether that's a spatula, a knife, or that pair of nunchucks he walks around with in his back pocket.
I do not walk around with a pair of nunchuckers in my back pocket.
Just telling you. All you people should talk some shit. Maybe you should get some training before you talk all that shit, because guns ain't going to cut it if you think that that's what's going to save you. Especially if you can't shoot, move, and communicate. If you are 4 times the size of me, you ain't hiding behind a tree, motherfucker. Your ass is going to get shot. So come together, people. Stop acting like this is the new revolution. You're picking the wrong idea. If you were going to rebel, you should have rebelled a long time ago about the injustices that we face every fucking day. That's what you should rebel against, not this stupid shit. Why are you rebelling against something so stupid as a fucking mask? Come on. We are oppressed all the time, and these are the stupid fucking positions that you're taking. Think about it. Look around. We're oppressed all the fucking time. That's what we should be fighting against.
Sounds like you're passionate about this. By the way,
it's fucking true.
Let's do a couple of shout outs here. Big shout out to
why don't you fucking say it?
I'm gonna shout out this time, and Ronz, you can shut the fuck up. I'm not political. I hate political crap. I hate what's going on in the world right now. But I just want to let you guys know that I got some sad news while we were doing this podcast.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
One of the smartest fucking people on the planet, who I would have voted if he would ran for president, has passed away. Alex Trebek. I've known that guy my whole life. He's one of the smartest fucking people in the world. Hosted Jeopardy, brought the world together to watch Jeopardy. Passed away today of pancreatic cancer.
It's a long battle,
shit.
Though. Long battle, though. How long has he had it, though? He's had it for years.
Years, at least. Yeah.
He's had it for years.
But he would have got my vote if he would have ever ran for president.
Pancreatic cancer.
People, but clearly did not run for president because he was one of the smartest people in the world.
No, he couldn't have ran for president anyway. He's from Canada. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. I'm pretty sure he's from Canada.
I think so too. He's from Quebec, I believe.
I believe it's pronounced Quebec.
Quebec.
No, it's Quebec.
It's Quebec.
But, you know, a big shout out to one of our listeners, Katharina, who said that she couldn't stop but laughing over the butt plugs. That was great. A big squeegee snot if you're out there still listening. Big shout out to them.
Squeegee snot can go fuck themselves. They have not responded to any.
I don't think
they have.
Exist.
They have.
I don't think they fucking exist, dude. I think it's something that you're making up in your mind, Ron.
I was just gonna say that, Ryan.
I will get them
that plays in his mind.
I will get them to respond then. So, big shout out to Skylar and RJ for doing the VP thing. Everybody thought that was hilarious.
VP, not DP.
And I can't wait to get back to talking about non-political stuff. Now, for this political stuff, I didn't do any research because I wanted the questions off the cuff. And then on top of that, I didn't watch the election. I couldn't watch the election. I didn't want to watch the election just because it it's too overwhelming for me. It just takes way too much out of that. And there are three things you should never talk about out in public, and that's what they say.
Your genitals.
You're right. Sex
One
is
of
one of
three.
them. Political, sex, politics, and religion.
Political
Right.
sex.
Yeah. However, because this is a fun podcast, I talk about all three of those. So I like that. Big shout out to Scars and Stripes Coffee, right? Who has yet to send me a sample. That would be nice. If you look at them, go to www.ss.coffee/beavers and support them. Also on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Carrie's Brew.
Yeah, old man. I don't think you have to say www for Facebook, by the way.
You know, I was going to say that. Also, check out our website, slaptailnation.com. And this is where you tell me you're wearing sungas.
I am not wearing them, but I did wear them yesterday
Dude,
because
no
it is actually
way!
warm. It is actually warm in Michigan, and I did have my sunglasses on for a little bit, and I might put them back on today. So, yes, I agree. Thank you, Ronz, for mentioning Single Life. People, check them out, man. Get some silkies. The time is yours. Just keep it warm in your house, and you can still rock your sunglasses, man. Because when the sky's out, the thighs are out. When the suns are out, the buns are out. And most comfortable shorts I've ever owned. And if you think that men should not show their thighs like the people who wear singles do, let me remind you that the coolest motherfucker that ever rocked the television screen, in my opinion, always wore short shorts. That's right, motherfuckers. Magnum P.I. He always rocked the thighs out.
Oh, awesome. And what about Grunt Styles t-shirts?
Run style t-shirts. I'm actually wearing one right now, and it's super soft, super comfy. Says has a picture of an M4 with a scope on it, or as I guess you people call them, AR-15s. I still call mine my M4 because that's what I carried, and that's what we always called them. Got one on the front, says this is a tool, and on the back of my broad back it says, I am the weapon. That's the truth, because that's how it is, and that's how I roll. I would also like to say that I wish I would have known this sooner. TRX system, if anybody knows what those are the strap system that was designed by Navy SEALs that you can actually take with you anywhere, and you can do a nice little workout. They're very versatile, and in commemoration of Veterans Day, which is coming up this week, apparently, if you buy a TRX system, they will donate one free to a veteran, which I would have known that because I just bought my TRX system a couple of weeks ago. I would have waited and bought it so that I could have had one donated. So if anyone out there is listening and you're interested in doing some fitness that utilizes your body weight with a strap system, TRX system is very fun to use. I enjoy it quite a bit, and I'm probably more sore now than I typically am in a good way. And enjoy doing it. But like I said, if you buy one now, they will donate one to a veteran because we are coming up on Veterans Day. I would also like to say that this is National NP Week. I believe that started yesterday. And I fully expect no one to say Happy Nurse Practitioner Week to me at work.
All right.
But to my fellow nurse practitioners out there, thank you for all that you do. And I hope you're listening.
Where could we find this TRX system or these TRX things?
Just Google it on the internet. Just type in TRX. You'll find it.
I guess
We will.
TRX.com.
So, what is it? I have trxtraining.com, if that's the site you're talking about.
Yep.
And they do sell a bunch of different products there. So go out and support them because the Beaveman likes them. Maybe they'll give them a shout out. And on their website, as you mentioned, buy a TRX camo strap and we'll give one to a veteran. Support your local vets. All right. If you know they need an ear to talk to, please listen. All right. Well, let's also prevent suicide among our vets. And for that matter, just anybody.
And finally, we would also like to say, if you're interested in listening to a Mr. Rogers style podcast, Skylar Beavers, friend of the show, has a new podcast out called The Watering Hole, and it is very pleasant to listen to. He does read like poetry and different writing things, and there's very pleasant music, and he sounds like Mr. Rogers as he's talking to his guests. It's pretty enjoyable to listen to, and you can find that on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
And we will be posting a link somewhere on our Facebook page as well as our homepage.
All right. So thank you for everyone who listens. Pass it on to a friend.
Definitely.
And adios, mooch fuckos.
Hey.
Bye.